We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams.
You know, whenever I drive down to San Diego, or even when I take that day trip down to Tijuana, I make it my business to stop near the halfway point to, have a quick smoke, take off the sneakers, feel the fresh sand, stretch my legs at North Beach near San Clemente. And I see if I can find a bunch of dudes wearing, OP shirts, long board shorts, scraggly long hair. And I think to myself, hey, maybe those are the dudes from Fu Manchu. But alas, everyone down there near North Beach kind of looks like that. So I get back in the van, put my shoes back on, finish my smoke, and then I finish my ride down to wherever I'm going, whether it be San Diego or Tijuana or sometimes all the way down to Ensenada. But inadvertently, when I get in the van and continue my ride, I throw on a song like that, like we just heard, to kick off the Metal Motel 6 tonight from the debut Fu Manchu album from way back, and I mean way back, 1994. No One Rides for Free. It is a classic, at least in my book, and I think to most people out there who are, if you know, you know. And that's the Metal Motel 6 tonight. If you don't know what we do on this amazing stream, late night, we play 6 incredible metal tracks for the 6 incredible metal decades from the 70s on to the 2020s. I am the Heavy Metal Wizard, and we're live in SoCal, where the desert meets the beach, on the Gotcha Metal channel. Good evening. And real quick, we're going to go way back to the 70s. And here's a really special track for our 70s cut tonight. We're going to go and do some pre-Lemmy Hawkwind from the band's breakout album, their second album, In Search of Space. If you can picture it, it's Dave Brock on vocals and guitar. He was the only guitar player in the band at the time. Nick Turner, of course, on vocals and saxophone. And Dave Anderson was the bass player. Terry Ollis was the drummer. Del Detmar was the synth guy. And Dick Mick, of course, was the audio generator. He just made a whole bunch of sounds and played the psychedelic stuff in the background. And on this album, In Search of Space, there's 2 kind of famous songs, right? One is You Shouldn't Do That, which is like a 20-minute freak-out jam. And the other one is this track that we're going to get to right now. Oh, yeah. It's an absolute stone-cold classic from 1971. Oh, yeah. Off the In Search of Space album, as I said. It's called Master of the Universe. It's a killer jam to kick things off really tonight on the Metal Motel 6. So to clear the air, yeah, Lemmy did not play on that Hawkwind album. He played on the next one, the studio album Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do from 1972, and of course he played on Space Ritual, which they released shortly thereafter, the very famous live album from Hawkwind from 1973. And of course Lemmy sang lead vocals on their biggest hit of the time, Silver Machine. He was only in the band for like 6 months, I think, when they recorded that, and he was the only guy who could sing it. So he got to sing on the band's biggest hit back in 73. It's a long time ago, as we do Hawkwind to represent our 70s door here at the Metal Motel 6 tonight. I'm the Heavy Metal Wizard. Thanks for joining me, of course. And, you know, I don't really know many great metal bands from the city known as Salt Lake City in Utah, you know, which is really funny because back in the day, I knew a gal who worked at a really awesome radio station in Salt Lake City called KBER The Bear, right? It was like Utah's most famous rock station, and they played a lot of heavy metal, which I thought was amazing. I passed through that city a couple of times back in the day, and I wonder if that station still exists. I wonder if they ever played this next band that we're going to get to on the Metal Motel 6. The only band I know of that's really a kick-ass metal band of my style anyway. I'm talking about the band called Visigoth. I'm sure some of you may have heard of them, and I'm sure some of you may never have heard of them, but they have 2 albums out, and I'll dedicate this track, which is from their second album. I'll dedicate it to that gal from The Bear, if she ever listens. This one's called Warrior Queen. It's off the Conqueror's Oath album from, like I said, Visigoth from Salt Lake City on the Metal Motel 6.
She feels the roar of desire, breathe her flame. parting kiss and sorrow fills her aching heart. She marches through the fog, all hope and glory lost, but she came all this way, and she raises a fist to the sky. Oh, hail the coming of the conqueror. Hail the forging of the warrior. She stands alone. Warrior queen, forged in steel, tempered in the flames of war. Fierce and free, fearless conqueror, goddess of the mental storm. Warrior queen.
The Metal Motel 6. Now, you can't get a set of music of any two tracks back to back better than those two. I mean, goddamn. That's the Sword, of course, with the Eye of the Storm Witch from the Apocryphon album. And I'm sure that maybe one or two, or maybe more than that, of you know he made an error with that there song, Eyes of the Storm Witch, because it certainly did not come out in the decade of the 2000s. I just realized it as we played the song. It came out in 2012. But hey, you know, we're going to roll with it anyway because, you know, I'm not I'm not going to blow everything up tonight just for a 2-year gap in accuracy. I'm not going to let it ruin my buzz tonight here at the Metal Motel 6. Heavy Metal Wizard, where the desert meets the beach, and we're live in SoCal. But I do freaking love that album. I really do, just like some of you out there have mentioned. And also, you know, it was produced by a very old pal of mine. Well, at least a guy that I worked with for a little bit anyway. Super cool guy by the name of Jay Robbins, who back in the day, like a long time ago, like 7 lifetimes ago, back in the 90s, I had the pleasure of working with Jay Robbins in his band Jawbox. Yes, great kind of post-punk band from Washington, D.C. It was, like I said, a very long time ago. Anyway, he produced that album By the Sword, and I'll pretend that it came out in the 2000s, even though, in actuality, it came out in 2012. But I do know that this next track, for a fact, came out in 1984, and that's going to continue our Metal Motel 6 jam session tonight, because, and I've got reason for this, to play this tonight, but it's Docking Into the Fire on the Metal Motel 6.
Spell, your eyes they beckon me. Your lips they speak lies and misery. I know it's wrong, but I can't turn away. The flames draw near, they're telling me to stay. Into the fire.
What a great tune to kick into the midnight hour with here in SoCal. A little classic Dawkin. So, last night, in the middle of the night, my freezer in my kitchen starts making these noises imitating, underwater depth charges. It was insane. It woke me with such an abrupt shock that I snapped my favorite wizard staff in half. And that in itself is just so disappointing. Because it was sold to me as unbreakable. And it's not, obviously, because it's now snapped in two. Anyway, I had to take apart the freezer, and I found out that the fan blade was cutting into a massive glacier of ice behind the wall in the freezer. And who would have thunk it that can kind of make a sound that loud? So I melted it down. I fixed it for now. But I now have to use my old wizard staff, and that is really, really angering me. So I took the good staff that I bought, like I said, was supposedly unbreakable. And yes, I threw it into the fire, and that's why we played that track tonight. Hey, you get your inspiration from many, many places. And that was our 80s cut tonight here on the Metal Motel 6. I got some special thanks going out to Bullet, and of course Andy Kanapkin, and John Lagravation, otherwise known as Lassie, and his two pups, his three cats, and from what I hear through the grapevine, he's now got a brand new milk snake, which he at least half named after me, as he calls it the White Wizard. I love you, John. Dr. Doom, thanks to you as well, Mr. John Jacob Jingleheimer. Got to thank Lou Psychedelia for checking in tonight. Of course, also Dave Valensky. What up, Dave? And, of course, last but not least, Charlene. And Charlene, of course, is still in love with Don Dawkin, as are many women who were around back in 1985, like Charlene. All right, I am the Heavy Metal Wizard, and we shall end with one more awesome song. And, with so many new metal albums coming out, every week there's at least, 4 or 5 that grab my attention. And if there's only 4 or 5 that grab my attention, then there's probably 100 that come out every week that just fly right by me for now. But, the race by streamers to be the first, or at least one of the first, to acknowledge those said new albums, I mean, Jesus, it's so overwhelming. I can't keep up with it. When something new comes out, and I'll give you an example, like the New Testament, right? It was everywhere for about 5 days, and then it just floats off into the sunset. And I feel that's, I don't know, it's kind of a disservice. I've been talking about this for a while, and I feel that it's my responsibility to talk up and expose great albums, that maybe aren't brand new, but are recently released, that no one really wants to discuss anymore because they're not the brand new shiny toy. You understand? You following me? So for our 2020s cut, I'm going to go back to an album that was released in December of last year. And this album really, really stunned me because I wasn't expecting it to come out. It actually made my top 10 of 2024, even though it came out like on December 2nd. And I'm talking about, one of the great doom metal bands, not just of this generation, but of all time, right? I'm talking about Electric Wizard, the band from Dorset, UK. If you don't know where that is geographically, it's in the very south of England. And they put out a record last year called Black Magic, Rituals, and Perversions. It's a double album. And I'm going to play a track off that right now. It's called Dope Throne. Now, this track was originally released back in 2001 as a title track of the album Dope Throne. But we're going to play the version that they re-recorded for last year's album. And I've said it before. I've made this statement. And let me reiterate. I can think of no other band that personifies the spirit of heavy metal music. Maybe other than Judas Priest, right? More so than Electric Wizard. They're that awesome. So to end tonight's Metal Motel 6. It's Dope Throne. Heavy Metal Wizard signing out. Thank you for checking in tonight.